Hey, bro. Hey, how you doing? Tuning in. Hello, for those of you tuning in, if you guys have a question for me, comment away. Hi, how are you? Cabbage. Actually, my shirt is actually a tough one. I actually got this in box lunch the other day. Hold on. Do you have any new interviews coming up? Yes, I do have John DiMaggio coming up soon, which it's not for like another days, and I have other people planned out for the rest of the month, which will be better than November, because November was just a very like distressful month for me. Yeah, react to what? Yes. Guys got questions? Go away, fire away, but please no personal questions. Hold on. There are only three people here. Pff, I know, like that's the thing about this. Like for me, what I think about my subscribers, most of the time I do believe I have subscribers that are actually bots, like or people that just don't like tune in or anything like that. That's what I believe. Mm-hmm. Even would you interview the not likely like interviewing the Illuminati. Like, that's something I don't like really like ever think consider like doing. Like, I do know their leader, Joe from that hashtag show. Like, I would probably take it on to consideration, but it's not really something likely. All right, for those of you tuning in, like, if you guys have a question for me, go away. I mean, go ahead, not go away. Sorry, it's just been a long, crazy day, and especially like with now it's December, like the last month of the year, especially with COVID and everything going on. It's like everyone like kind of thought that maybe life would return to normal. What do you think about Henry Golding as Snake Eyes for the upcoming movie? I don't know about that. Like, I'll look into that, but it seems okay. I'll probably look into it. Like on casting, like, hold on. What are your thoughts of Curvy passing away? Like to me, it was like really heartbreaking. Like I thought, like like he was only 47, and like as of now, we don't know like what's the cause of his death. And it's like it's like heartbreaking to know what could have caused his death. Like recently, the Darth Vader actor David, it's like his daughter actually announced that the reason he died is because of COVID. And it's like I'm hoping the similar thing didn't happen to uh similar thing happened to a Kirby. Hold on, I saw one comment saying that Jill doesn't run that hashtag show anymore. Like, I would probably look into that. Like, I don't really keep up with a lot of like other like media outlets news. Like, the only ones I do are IGN, comicbook.com, and Screen Rant, which I do know Joe he's a part of. Anything most of the time when I know something pop culture like massive is happening, it's like I just see it whatever's trending like on Twitter. Colleen Clickenbeard, I still haven't like gotten around to getting Colleen yet. Like I've thought about like it's just like maybe I'll probably get her like I don't know when exactly. Sorry that I haven't like I told you y'all that I would get her like back in like June or whatever. But no, I haven't gotten there. But I do have someone that could fulfill the void of getting Colleen, like to fulfill her. But it's not gonna happen anytime soon. Would you interview John Cena? Well, of course, I'll like almost get anyone that's really a big name, like just for the views, or not really. But John Cena, like, I'll be honest with y'all. Like, when it comes to like WWE wrestlers, I don't really like know them like a lot about it, like in full depth. Like, I'll be honest with you, I didn't. Will Smith, of course, like. I mean, I would definitely get Will Smith if I had. Yeah, I checked how much that would have costed me. That I would need about $200,000 for him. Could you get sorry if I didn't see that last one. I think it's some guy called Mark. But on John Cena, like on the whole wrestling thing, like I'll be honest with y'all, I didn't know who Dwayne Johnson was until like that movie he did, The Game Plan, came out. Jackie Chan, of course, but actually the closest thing I could get to Jackie Chan is I actually found out I could get maybe the guy who did the voice of Jackie Chan from the Jackie Chan Adventures cartoon, because he actually also did the voice of the Cabbage Merchant from Avatar. And like, yes, I know how to get a hold of him, so he will definitely be in the works. Which probably, most likely, I won't have like say a lot of interviews for the Chris Chris Tucker. I could try. I can't just get any like major A-lister celebrity. It's like what you okay. Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Like I said, I just can't get say anyone. Hold on. How often do you watch fact videos like Channel Federator, Watch Mojo? Watch Mojo. Honestly, I Watch Mojo like not say like every day. I just do check their channel. Like, what's any of their interesting top tens? Like sometimes I agree with them, sometimes I disagree and write my own little top tens. But yeah, Channel Federator. Most like it depends what the subject is, because I do always see those like recommendations like on my channel. I'll be honest with y'all. I am not even subscribed to any YouTube channel, like none. You're a guy from the of Gundam Wing. Yeah, I'll look into it. But the thoughts on the Legend of Korra, like, yes, I know I said that I'll be doing like my overall review of like how my perspective of the show has changed since its original. Do you want me to do interviews for actors? Not really just say actors. Like, here's something you guys don't know about. Back in October, I was trying to get Bill Nye the Science Guy, but declined. Have you ever seen the? I think that's an anime you just mentioned, but nah, it's like I haven't really gotten around to like watching a lot of new anime kind of stuff. But let's see. Like, what about YouTubers? Hey, Steven, do I think the Power Rangers reboot is gonna be any different? Like this new cinematic one? I just would like to see what they're gonna do. That's kind of one thing. But on like when it comes to like getting like actors for these interviews, I just don't get actors. Like I do try to get like a wide range of people that it's just not pop culture. Like even though Bill Nye the Science Guy, it's like he's pop culture, but it's just I've been trying to get him. Do you think Vic Mignogna should be in charge of Funimation? If he wants to. Favorite Pokemon? Charizard. Anyway, like one of the questions I missed out on, what was my thoughts on shows recommended for you to watch? I do watch Mr. Robot, The Good Place. I'm trying to remember that show, like what it is, but yeah, Mr. Robot, like I did do that. We do interviews for voice actors for video games. The thing about it, like, I have gotten a couple of voice actors that do video games. Mostly any like voice actor you do, any voice actor that works for video games, they're like basically just a regular voice actor. Like yeah, like a panel I got of Rob Paulson like 2 years ago. One was about a panel he did about cartoon, and the other panel was about video games. My least favorite Pokemon. I don't like really have one like at the top of my head, like who's my least favorite, but I don't know. Like I would say like I haven't really been keeping up with all the new Pokemon. I would say I kind of stopped during the Black and White era. Like I feel like the only time I pay attention to any new Pokemon is when they're announcing the starters. And that's that. And what else? Like show recommendations, huh? Well, you do interviews for popular YouTubers. Like, well, I've thought of it, but sometimes it cannot be easy to say get a hold of some people. Like, what if I say try to get Mr. Beast? The Selena series premieres this Friday. Yes, I'll most likely be watching that, and I'll be probably recommending it to my family, like PewDiePie. Well, I could try, but with someone that is a millionaire and has so much power like him, why would he want to talk to a guy like me? I mean, it's like a really never say never, but sometimes like some people will not like agree to like be interviewed by you if you don't have say the numbers or the audience to back it up. Like sure, like say I did do him and then he like shares it on his social media, sure that'll be great for views or whatever, but it doesn't mean it's something I could just talk him into like participating. Do you think Vic Mignogna will be proven innocent once and for all? Well, the thing about like Vic Mignogna's situation, I don't really want to say give like my full thoughts about it. Like before me and him did our interview, like he did told me some things which he's not allowed to tell, which of course I can't tell y'all. It's like some legal things that are still going on behind the scenes that which I really can't like talk anymore about that. It's like really his situation, not mine. I mean, there's been some really good questions, guys. Come on. Thoughts on the Avatar video games? Like, if you're talking about that new one that some guy like created from like Dreamsoft or something like that, it's like, yeah, I mean, that's like really like I would say my dream Avatar: The Last Airbender game, but it's come on, like come on, release it because the other three we got were so crappy. Anyway, what do you think COVID-19 will finally be over? Well, the thing about COVID, it's like, I'm not saying don't trust the scientists or anything like that. I mean, like, there's so much, like, information about COVID that goes around. It's like, don't, like, say just listen to anyone. All I could tell you guys to do is just be cautious. Like, take care of yourselves, both physically and mentally. Because I tell you, during this whole month in November, it's like, it's really, like, fucked me really bad, like, in the mentally. Because, some like because of the spikes I've been going around in my area, it's like I've been seeing some really good friends of mine catching it or getting sick by it. For the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers, who do you think will make a comeback besides Tommy? If the show's still going on after Dino Fury, it'd be nice if everyone could finally like, we could finally get like a bigger reunion, like the one everyone wants. Kimberly to come back. Everyone wants Billy to come back. Zach, but they don't know how they will address Trini due to her actress passing away. But I really do want like a full like reunion to happen. But it's like how some people just don't want to do it, or they just can't agree to the terms. It's like I know how Walter Jones has talked about how if they want him to come back, they have to pay him his SAG rate, his to pay him properly. That way he doesn't get in trouble and lose his membership. Can I interview you for my birthday? You're a big role model to me. Here's the thing about that. You're probably gonna think I'm a jerk, but I don't like do interviews outside of my channel. I mean, like, I would like to do that for you, but I really don't do it. What's your height? I am 6 feet tall. And speaking about that, this one guy that I know actually wanted me to be on his podcast, and I told him no. It's okay, I understand. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just I really don't want to like reveal some things about me that y'all don't know yet. I mean, it's not like it's a never say never thing, but just it's like how I will eventually like appear in other people's like podcasts and that kind of stuff. But the thing is, I really want to save myself for something like being interviewed by IGN. Smash Bros. Man, yes. Yes, I do love the Smash Bros. Like I haven't like really played like any like I know I told you guys that I finally found the Nintendo Switch, but I have like say in about the 2 months I've had it in my possession, I like played it like twice. That's hence the it's like it's just like I don't have like even the TV. Dear Mr. Steven, based on your recent Power Rangers video, I was wondering what's your favorite Power Rangers season? Mighty Morphin, what can I say? If something bad happens to us and we get like rebuilt like cybernetics, like I'll be honest with y'all, I personally believe that whole having like cybernetics and all that kind of stuff will be is a real possibility. Do you think they use Trini's? Most likely, I feel like they probably do that because I know that some the producers of Power Rangers they do like reuse like old footage and stuff for that kind of thing, like guns and all that. Like in like especially in the SPD and Dino Thunder crossover, like they didn't want Jason David Frank to come back because he was already back in the States and to fly him out to New Zealand. It's like why spend like thousands of dollars? We can just have a voice actor do it for him, which was actually the guy who was Trent, the uh white, the white, sorry, Drago White Ranger. It's like cheap asses. Do you ever think you will interview Chris Evans? I hope so. Like I've like never even met the guy, but I almost did. Like before COVID happened, I was making plans to go to Ace Comic Con in Boston, which sure, like no interviews or anything, but I mean I could have just met the guy and shook his hand. About cybernetics, what's your least favorite season of Power Rangers? Turbo? No, I would say my least favorite. It's probably Operation Overdrive because you know it's like, come on, they could have done so much better. But cybernetic implants, I believe, like you know, like Luke Skywalker. If we get our hands cut off, replace it with a Robo. What's your favorite Kit Kat flavor? In Japan, they have multiple flavors. Of Kit Kat, when it comes to like candy, I just eat like the regular, like the OG. I don't eat like the say strawberry kind of flavor or any of that stuff. I prefer like the OG of kind of stuff. Like if we talk about say hot Cheetos, like I remember a friend like asking the question of like which hot Cheetos do you prefer, the original or the lime ones? Skittles or Skittle sours? Yeah, when it comes to Skittles, I prefer regular Skittles. I do not like the sour ones. Anyway, on the hot Cheeto thing, like yeah, I put the lemon because I feel like it's become synopsis with me of like yeah, I feel like I've only been eating hot Cheetos that are like the lemon flavor and not the original or anything like that. Like I've tried the extra hot ones, the black bag, and it's like oh my god, that shit's hot. Like it always like every time if I finish a bag, I like scarf down the water. Do you have any advice for toxic relationships? Well, I can like I'm not saying I do know what it means to be in like in a toxic relationship kind of like would be awesome to be a cyborg. Yeah. Yeah, if we do have cybernetics, I'll probably live long enough until our batteries run out. But when it comes to dealing with toxic relationship, like if you're a girl, listen, if your man ever calls you something like a bitch, or like even like physically hurts you, leave him. Like sure, he may forgive you or he may like try to ask for your forgiveness, but please leave him. Like I encourage you not to be with anyone that abuses you. Like for my experience, like I would say my last girlfriend I had like a few years ago, like the only reason we broke up is because she was at the time like bi curious, like she wasn't like exactly sure of her like sexuality, and I feel like she was only kind of with me because like she was like wondering if she liked guys or not, and she left me, and now she's married like to another girl. But I've like really moved past back like that, and I wouldn't say it was like toxic or anything. But I remember last year when I was at Ranger Stop going to Pula Magasiva's like memorial service when John Tui talked about the relationship Pula had with his wife. Like he said that he officiated his okay. Anyway, like for two for Pula and his wife, like John said he like could tell like she wasn't the one for him, and it's like yeah, like it's sad to hear that Pula was actually physically abusing his wife. Like it's like really hard and how they kept it under wraps for a few years, and like Pula knew that if he like if the media got a word of it, he knew his life wouldn't be the same, and he was actually supposed to go to jail, and then well unfortunately he committed suicide because of it. It's like you know how that kind of thing like it can happen to, like any of us. Like I've actually know some friends that have been in some toxic relationships. It's like sometimes it's best to just walk away. Like sure, like maybe you guys could get counseling and you know fix things, but most of the time I think one of the best things to do is just walk away from it. Skittles or Sour Patch Kids? Like I do like Sour Patch Kids, but they're so like sour. Like nah, I just prefer Skittles. Like if I get like a Skittles, I try to save the purple ones for last or the red one. Anyway, thank you guys for this question. It says, do you like to read books? Of course. What's your opinion on school? Get your education. Don't be like me. Like I got my education, but yeah, I have a bachelor's degree and one of the most useless degrees to have. Okay, not really, but I'm planning to go back to school. All right, yeah, the Fast and the Furious movies like Like I enjoy the movies, but I like the fifth one, Fast Five, the best. But yeah, the last few films haven't been that good, and especially hearing that the next one they're supposed to go into space. It's like Power Rangers in space. And yeah, like hearing that the last two, it's like I feel like just 10 movies should be enough unless they have like a really good convincing story. It's like tell it. And if it's something like just for money, it's like I mean, Universal is like that would say like that and the Minions movies or Despicable Me are like their most profitable movies, especially how Despicable Me too like almost made $1 billion for them, and how the Minions movie made $1 billion for them. It's like we don't care about the quality, let's just make the money. Anyway, on education, yeah, it's really important to get your education. Like, I know some people, like I know this one guy who's like 35 working at the supermarket. Like to me, like it's there's like really nothing wrong with that, but this guy, he's like 35, still lives with his parents. Like I don't think nothing wrong with it, but it's like how he's like basically like if he wasn't say living with his parents, would he have been able to afford to live on his own? And it's like that guy should have gone to school, like or find himself better. And when I say working at the supermarket, I would say he's just a regular clerk, not like the department manager or anything like that. But it's like, yeah, it's good. Get your education, guys. Like for me, like I'm eventually am gonna go back to school. Like I'm not saying gonna get like maybe like a post bachelorette's degree, but I do have. I think I feel like I'll just get like an AA and something. Like I'm still like very much open into it because this happens to like could happen to like a lot of us where we uh when I saw the launch stream, I hope this was one of those. I love your channel. Well, thanks for loving my channel. Recorders. Oh, there we go. I finally fixed it. Just out of curiosity, would you interview Dave Patel? Well, yeah, I gotta like for me, Dave Patel, he's like really redeemed himself. Like that movie he did like a few years ago. I forgot what it is, but he like I feel like his performance was good enough that I completely forgot about him being in the Last Airbender. Oh yeah, lion. Like I knew I had like the word lion in it. It's like Dave. He's really, he's really redeemed himself. Like of the actors that have like redeemed themselves from those movies, like I was like really surprised that the actress that played a Yue in that movie would voice Asami in The Legend of Korra, and I was like, redemption, which is good. But yeah, on interviewing Dave Patel, that would happen. Like, here's a fun fact: I actually met Danny Boyle like about 5 years ago, who directed a Slumdog Millionaire. Like, I was an extra on the Steve Jobs movie. That was like 5 years ago. Like, I'll actually do a video explaining more about that. Like, yeah, if you guys are interested in knowing that. What is your favorite character in any movie? All right, let's start some of my favorite movies. The Mask with Jim Carrey. Obviously, Jim Carrey. I mean, his performance is like flawless in that. Toy Story, like Woody or Sid the Kid. Nah. Let's see. In Star Wars, like if I had to say A New Hope, I definitely did like Obi-Wan Kenobi, like one of the best in this. Hold on. Do you think we'll get the live action of the Omega suits from the comics? That would be interesting, or they could either use that in this rebooted TV cinematic universe that Hasbro is planning to do. That way we could like, yeah, those suits are really good. Do you think Kirby passed away in his sleep? Well, it's because we don't know like a lot of details about his death, which I hope not. It's just, it's kind of scary that you could die from your sleep. But as for Kirby, like I actually was meaning to rewatch a video like where I think it's him where he talked about Sean Schemmel, like saying that he's never met Schemmel. You think we'll be able to enjoy the things we love in heaven or in the afterlife? I hope so. But of like this video, I saw Kirby him talking about like Sean Schemmel. He said that he's never like met him in person, but they were at the same convention, and I guess he responded to a Shemo. He responded to a tweet Kirby said saying that I'm Goku, you're not Goku. Do you like the Power Rangers? Yes, the Power Rangers Lightning Collection figures, they're excellent, like really good. But I feel like some of the expressions the Rangers have on those, like in their faces, it's like they're not really good. Especially how why they're smiling instead of having something like more kick ass like. But of like yeah, no cosplay item. Yes, like cosplay items. Cosplays are awesome, guys. Like I'm a big like supporter of cosplayers, and some of my good friends are like really good. Do you think God will allow anime and all that stuff? Well, the thing is, God probably doesn't like anything fun. Why I do interviews with celebrities in Spanish, like most likely, but I would admit my Spanish is not really that strongly fluently. Like I really am one of those like Mexicans that grew up like speaking like in English the most and then like in Spanish every now and then. Like I actually when I was in high school, like senior year, I took this very god awful class where everyone had to talk and write in Spanish, and I tell you, the teacher of that class was super like horrible, like really horrible. God, rewatching Power Rangers. But anyway, of the Spanish teacher, she was like horrible, and I like really dreaded the class. And she like knew that I couldn't like really speak Spanish that well, and she was like suggesting I move myself to like a different Spanish class, like Spanish 2, because this class was more of a advanced speaking class. And it's like, nah, I made up some excuse to let me stay. But here's the thing about that teacher. She, like, I would say in the beginning of the spring semester, she just mysteriously disappeared. Like, just disappeared. Like we had this sub for like a few days and then it turned to weeks. And then we asked it about the teacher and she said that she wasn't coming back. And like one of my theories is that she probably got like in trouble or something because I remember there was this one morning where we were like I admit like I feel like in this kind of class I was like one of the most well behaved students. Like I wasn't like a teacher's pet, but I just knew when to behave because there was like it was like a mix of freshmen, sophomores, and everyone was all chatting and yelling and yelling. And then one time she told the class to shut up. Well, not really. She just said, "Just when you couldn't make my birthday feel like any more like shit." And I was like, "What? It's your birthday? Like, how are we supposed to know?" Like, it's like a teacher should never really talk to you that way. Like, she may get she may have to raise their voice every now and then, but really, a teacher should not talk that way to students. And it's like, I'm actually glad she left because I like just dreaded that class, like, really dreaded it. And it's like, yeah, and it's like that class really did nothing for me. Like, here's a little fact, like, this would have gotten me kicked out of school, but during like because I was like one of the few seniors in that class, I had to take like my final like at the before a week before graduation, and I was like, I felt like I did not learn anything in this damn class that and of course like I was taking my final and by I was at the desk of the teacher like taking it, and I was like I would see like the test on the computer screen and I would go through it and then like I accidentally scroll down all the way to the end and what do I find? The answers to the test. So I'm like erase, erase, bubble in, gotta be in the whole class. So basically my whole graduation is a lie. I cheated to graduate. I cheated. It's like if I didn't like do that, would I've even passed or graduated? I cheated. I cheated. I cheated. Like I feel like in that episode of SpongeBob where he was like he's cheating like during his boating exam, and it's like I cheated. I cheated. I cheated. My whole graduation's a lie. Anyway, my thoughts of hold on. So we're still it's probably to do a Transformers crossovers film. That would be nice, especially if Peter Cullen comes back as Optimus Prime's. Like, I heard they wanted to do like a crossover between the Transformers movies and the G.I. Joe movies, but that never just came to fruition. It's like, give the fans what they want. But my thoughts of online school, well, like in college, yeah, I would take a couple of online classes, and I feel like yeah, that made it so much easier. Especially, I feel like those classes work the best for stuff like English and maybe anything that involves writing, really. Cheated to get out. Yeah, cheated to get out. Do I feel guilty? No. Do I feel bad? No. Can something happen to me because I finally announced this thing? I've actually been telling that people for years. I know you interviewed, but what's your experience like? Yeah, high school really definitely does suck. Like, if I'm ever lucky, I'm gonna actually do like I guess my own high school movie. Like I wanted to like show more like the personal pain of like going through school, especially if you're someone that has like shit going on at house. Like I would say like during my time as a senior, like my mom had another baby, and this baby like it's like how the dad, which I'm not saying my mom's boyfriend's like my stepdad or anything like that. What do you think of Drake Bell speaking Spanish? Oh, I'll get to it. But basically my mom had a baby during my senior year, and it's like I actually had to like help my mom like raise this kid, like this sister. Like if I basically was an 18-year-old parent, like especially how babies cry a lot, and it's like it made it hard for me to focus in class. Like I started like one of my grades were like slipping, and I was wondering how can I like pay attention to school while what's going on at home like affects my ability to like do well. And it's like I wish most of these high school movies would like do that. Like I mean I like super bad, but there's more. Not everyone tries to like lose their virginity before graduation. It's like sometimes like maybe it could be like the Breakfast Club, like how they like talked about their personal issues. But hey man, I'm curious, how do you get the interviews with all these people? I'm a nice, friendly guy. No, it's like it involves like negotiating and a little paying them. Which I don't want to go into full details. What's my secret? But yes, it involves negotiating and offering a pay, like a down payment. I mean, you guys could practically do it too. Well, you gotta have like the following to back it up, like my amount of subscribers on. How often do you listen to the original score from backgrounds and movies? Like, I actually like instrumental music. Like, most of the time, yeah, like, I do love the Avatar ones. I do like the Power Rangers instrumental music. I love all that stuff. Hold on. Oh, yeah, the Transformers crossovers could probably still happen. Yeah, let's hope so. All right, I think I missed one interesting question that I liked. Hold on. Hi. Out of all the people, who would say was the most nicest and the most meanest, if you don't mind asking? I would say, yeah, Jessie Flower, the voice up top, she's definitely been one of the nicest I've done all year. But who's been the rudest? I wouldn't say no one was actually rude to me. Like, I mean, I've encountered some rude people like con, like that one actress, I'm doing well. That actress from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the Cordelia, I think is her name. Like I know the actress name, her last name is like Carpenter. Basically, when I was at a panel, I was about to film the thing, and then she comes out saying that she wants everyone's cameras to go away. And then she looks at me and I said, I got a press pass. And she was like, no. It's like she was just being. I felt like her attitude was just a little rude, and she said that the reason she didn't want to be filmed is because of she swears, and she only dropped one little f bomb, and it's like I'm like okay of not say covering that panel. It's just like I would say she was just being a little snooty. And another person that was being rude is if you guys this one actress, I think her name is Lori Petty. She's like in she's from like Orange is the New Black, and she was also in Free Willy. Like this happened last year at Wizard World Sacramento, where I was about to film a panel, her panel, and then she looks at me the most, at all the people in the crowd, and she's all like, "What's that? What's that?" And she's like, and I'm like, "A camera?" And she's like, "I don't want it here." And it's like, all right, for her panel, no video and or no photos, that kind of thing. And throughout the whole panel, she kept telling the audience that, or she said that she'll walk away. Like to me, it's understandable if they don't want say to be recorded or photographs during the panel, but it would be nice to be, nice. Like, why do you gotta be rude, like stuck up? It's like, geez, I'm hoping no one went to her, like, no one went to her table. You didn't give my opinion of Drake Bell in Spanish. Like, I actually thought about doing a video about what's going on with Drake Bell, how he called himself Drake Campana. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, there's like, it's just, for a white guy to be talking in Spanish and like, selling songs in Spanish and then moving to Mexico. I mean, basically, Drake Bell did what Justin Bieber didn't do when Justin Bieber did his part in Despacito. It's like, what's going on with you, Drake? Like, sure, he seems to have gained like a new form of popularity through doing that. Like, I actually heard one of his songs, Fuego, and yeah, it sounds good. But for all we know, it's like I feel like because Drake, I heard that he's been like he had to file for bankruptcy, and it's like, well, the only thing that could save him is a Drake and Josh reboot. But it's like if he's like making really fast money from what he's doing now to help pay off his debts, and maybe like moving to Mexico would have been okay for him. It's like I do wish you the best, Drake. But still, it's like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, if I could like get in touch with Drake, I definitely will do this interview in Spanish. But I can't like guarantee everyone recorders. Like, there were some people that really did want it to do. A24 is one of the best movie studios. Yes, I do that. Hey man, just open up your mind and see what's inside. Drake and Josh Lee. Yeah, A24, they really produce really good indie films, like really good stuff. It's like they deserve like, to allow more independent films. Like I myself am a fan. Okay, I was in line to meet JDF and his handler was like no photos unless they're paid for, and JDF told his handler shut up and he wants to talk to everyone and all the pictures and you wanted me. Yeah, like JDF, he's actually really chill if you go to his panel, I mean his table, and like if you want to photograph the experience, he's like really generous with the people. Like I remember when it happened, I would say like when I saw him at the same con at in Sacramento like 2 years ago, like yeah, I was trying to go up to his table and ask him for that first my first interview with him. Like I told the PR person of that con, like I wanted to do say my an in person interview, not like over the. I'll get to you on that one, like an in person interview and not one over the phone. And here's a fact: that PR person gave me his phone number. Like I have Jason David Frank's phone number, and I've never once called it. Like if I were to call it right now, is he even gonna answer or what? Like I've actually been meaning to do a video where I'm like recording myself, like trying to call him to see what would happen, but I think it's best to finally like just do it just to talk to him. I mean, if I had to say, does JDF like if I were to like see him right now, would he remember me from my previous encounters with him? Not likely. It's like I've been like following on his Instagram like his travels all year. It's like he's like keep meeting so many faces. It's like is he even gonna remember me? Not at all. But let's see. Let me see some questions I missed out on. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? 567. I've literally done that, Dylan. Yes, I've done that. Like, I'll do it again if I have to. How are you? I'm good. What's your opinion of long distance relationships? If y'all really love each other, it will work out. Like, I've actually used to be in one, like I would say about 6 years ago, where I was still living in North Cal and my girl, she at the time had to go back to SoCal, and it's like it worked out for a bit, but sometimes it doesn't. Like just doesn't happen, or maybe you just meet someone. Like remember when Kimberly and Tommy had their long distance relationship, and then she just dumped them for that some guy she hardly knows. Like I know in the Boom Studio comics, they actually talked a little bit about, actually gave it the real reason, saying that there was no long distance. I mean, there was no other guy, and the whole long distance thing was just like she felt like just wasn't working out, and it's like, sorry, Tommy. Okay, favorite Avatar and Korra character, Toph. Would you call JDF now for the live stream? The thing is, I just don't want to like call him right now. Plus, remember JDF, he lives in Houston, which is like 2 hours timeline from now, and it's like I just don't want to bug him right now. Like I'm just like waiting for the right moment to strike. Or am I? Now, like, I would like to get back on that. No, who's been mean to me for interviews? Hold on. Do you get bored of watching celebrity interviews promoting movies? Not really. I don't say get bored of that because, like, if you're doing a movie, you gotta promote the hell of that movie to even reach the audience. Like, I remember like the one they did for Avengers Endgame last year. Like, they had like parts of the cast like in groups going around like promoting this thing. I guess when you have like a big ensemble like that, I guess it does help. Like, like to like say here, you guys go to Europe, you guys are here in the U.S., you guys go all over. Like a lot of travel, but it's like I would say it's a big time consuming thing. But yeah, it's like I think promoting movies is cool. I'm starting to lose my voice and I'm like out of water, but I don't mind keep going on with the chatting with y'all. Also depends, like, because I'm actually streaming to you on my phone. Hold on, Felix the Cats. What are your thoughts on current situation with the entertainment industry? Well, I'm all for like safetyness, but I feel like with the entertainment industry, if you're talking about films and TVs, like yeah, I've been seeing how some people are like like a new position is to be a COVID-19 safety officer, and it's like how yeah, I'm all for safetyness, and it's like it could be like a huge like stress thing to make sure that everyone is like anyone's like trying to keep the whole crew like safe, and that's like important. Like you don't want like one case to happen. I saw one question. It's all like I like am all for safetyness. What's my opinion of the 2017 Power Rangers movie? Like I liked it, but not as a whole. Like some people say it doesn't feel like Power Rangers at all. It's like trying to be like what the Marvel movies are trying to be. It's like it could have been better. Like I did not like the Krispy Kreme product placement at all. It's like it was unnecessary. But of the casting of the Rangers, I thought they were really good. Like I thought Dacre Montgomery was good. I thought Naomi Scott was. I thought RJ the RJ the blue one, and then Louie, and then Becky G as the Yellow Ranger. It's like I was very skeptical of her, but it's like I thought she did okay. It's like it's a shame that we won't be getting like a sequel to this movie because I feel like with some better improvements it would have been better. And I was like, I really wanted to do know what they were gonna do with Tommy, like what were they gonna how they were gonna introduce him, and like could I have done like a good dynamic with him. Well, we'll never know. Like, I did see some concept art of how his suit would have looked like, but it's like, we'll never get it. What's your any advice on following your passion? Just follow your heart, guys. Like, just do what you love. Like, I love doing my channel. I love going to the Comic Cons. Like, about like 5 years ago when I went to my first one uh in Wizard World, it's like I thought it was gonna be a one-time thing, but I like fell in love with it. But here's one thing you guys wouldn't like assume with me. Like I used to think like no cameras were allowed in those kind of things. Like I went there, no camera. I mean, and then I see all these people with their DSLRs like mine, like filming their experiences. It's like damn, and I was like only there for one day. Like I only went there just to meet Jason David Frank because I purchased his VIP autograph to like meet with him privately, get his photo, and it's like I regret not being properly prepared, but it was like my first con experience, so how do you know what to expect? I mean, the current way with storytelling being told, some stories are good, some stories are. It's like, yeah, like we live in a world where everyone's like, say, trying to do more reboots, and it's like how more reboots. It's like you're retelling some stories. It's like try to be original. Like there are some good original stories. Like we gotta tell like I I would say I like the hero's journey kind of arc thing. I do like well, it's like try not to be like say a copycat of everyone, but it's like I don't know like what's always gonna be a good story. Like some people have different opinions. What's a good story and what's a bad one? Let me see if I missed any questions. Very human character from Pokemon, Ash. And not because I've like interviewed Veronica Taylor on multiple occasions, but I feel like Ash represents just someone just do what you can, follow your dreams, and so on. What do you think the team up will be for Dino Fury, either season one or season two with Beast Morphers? It's like the thing about these team up episodes. It's like I hope they just do them. If the costumes look like it, if Rita was made, what was bad story in my opinion. Of the team up, like one of the issues I've had with the Nickelodeon like Saban Neil Hasbro era, it's like how they like do two separate seasons and they like all like take this like huge duration, especially how last year they filmed the last year how they filmed the team up episode Grid Connection, and the thing didn't air for like another year. It's like why? It's like why they take like these huge like gaps in like airing episodes. It's like it doesn't seem like very necessary. It's like they should have like done like how it was for like when Saban had the series, like they released it everything in the whole year instead of like taking 2 years. That's my stance on that. Subs or dubs? Like I do watch dubs when it comes to anime. Like I rarely do watch the subs. Like I like occasionally I would watch some stubs. Like for example, like when like the My Hero Academia. Like if I really do want to be cut up on the season, I can like watch the sub first. But I don't do that often. I just stick to the dub. Who's my favorite actor? Jim Carrey. Do you play Fortnite? I don't really play Fortnite. Like I'm hoping to. And of this Galactus live event, like I've seen a couple of things about him, but I will most likely hoping to get onto it. Who's my favorite actor? I said Jim Carrey. What is one food that you've never tried? I have never had a Twinkie. Like swear to God, never had a Twinkie in my life. You say you live in Virginia, cause I do. No, I don't live in Virginia. I live in California. Do you? I don't really watch the current Pokemon anime. I would say I like. I'm not saying like outgrew Pokemon, but when it comes to like say watching the anime, I felt like I really stopped after Diamond and Pearl, cause I think the one after that was Black and White, and I watched like bits and pieces of it, but I like never watched. I feel like that's when I really did stop watching Pokemon. Like it's not like an outgrowing thing. It's just I don't know. I just moved on from it. Like I still love the show. I still occasionally play Pokemon Go every now and then. It's like that's just really how it is for me. And do you prefer Western cartoons or Japanese cartoons? It's like I gotta go with Western because I grew up with mostly Western cartoons. It's like especially like in the golden age of the '90s, Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon in the 2000s. It's like that was like the best age to watch cartoons. You'd be surprised how some people I know that are like 18-year-olds don't know about the Saturday morning cartoon era. Favorite voice actor? Tara Strong. My least favorite Power Ranger season is Lightspeed Rescue. Well, I like Lightspeed Rescued. I mean, especially how it's like the Titanium Ranger. He's the first American-made Ranger, and it's like most of the footage with him was like with original footage, and it's like it looked like really well choreographed fight scenes they had with him, especially like in his debut episode. It's like that's really good stuff. Since you never had a Twinkie, don't try the chocolate ones. They taste nasty. Of course, like if I haven't had a Twinkie, like what makes you think I'm gonna try one now? Favorite color? Green. Least favorite Avatar episode. Do I need to say it? The Great Divide. It's like, yeah, I remember like watching that episode for the first time. It's like that episode has not really aged well at all. It's like I remember the first time I watched it, and it's like, yeah, something didn't like really click well when I saw it. It's like, what the hell? Favorite sport? I've always loved basketball. Let's see, moving on. Favorite sport? I just said that basketball. I do like football every now and then. Well, the thing about like I would say the reason when it comes to like say anime dubbing, most of the time I feel like they always rely on the same person. Like I love Steve Bloom, but he doesn't need to be in every single anime, especially how like he uses like his almost his regular normal voice for almost everything. And uh, I would say one of my least favorite voices is wait, have you ever met a Van Duver? I don't know who that is. But yeah, I do believe that most like Asian actors should give a chance to be able to be in anime dubbing. It's like how many Asian American voice actors do you know at the top of your head? Like Johnny Young Bosch and Todd Havercorn, I think. Every Pokemon fan agrees that Black and White was trash. I know you interviewed Selwyn. Yep, like Johnny Young Bosch. I do too. Stephanie Serf. I think I know. I'm familiar with her, but I'm not sure. It's like there are some like anime voice actors I don't like know at the top of my head. Like some dubs are good and some are just not good. I feel like they don't like click well. Well, thank you guys. This has been very entertaining. I didn't think I was gonna be like like going this long for like almost an hour. What was your experience like interviewing Selwyn Ward Ward? Like, here's an interesting thing about that experience. Like, he was like just at this small like Selwyn, like apparently he lives in the Bay Area, and he said like I think he's like working a regular job as like a manager of like an apartment building. Like he mentioned that on some panel like that happened with the In Space Rangers this year. So he's basically in the Bay Area. Like when he came to this thing, this like very small 1 day con thing, but it was really more like a toy swat, and he was like a special guest there, and he said like the person that organized that thing, he said that was his friend, and like yeah, like I did was waiting for Selwyn, I did greeted him, and like I like roam around the place, and then when I came to his table, like Selwyn, I've like never interacted with him, and he said that I looked familiar, like said my face looked familiar. Like one way to for me to break the ice, I like had a clip ready of like the time I interviewed Christopher Kamali and Tracy Lynn Cruz, and he told me that, oh yeah, that's where I knew you from. And he's like telling me, you look familiar, and I was like, to me that was like one moment where I feel like I really like made it, where I feel like even though I've never met the person, they know of me. Like before that, I did see Selwyn at the last Power Morphicon. Like I just saw him. I didn't get a chance to like greet him like at his table or anything. But that one moment, like it was very generous of him to say that I look familiar, which it helps out. Like it means that wow, I'm getting more famous. Least favorite Avatar character. I don't think I really ever have like a least favorite character on the show, but Tao Havercorn being Vietnamese, like I kind of like knew that, but I just didn't know like yeah. But least favorite Avatar character, I really maybe those elderly women that were like those twins, Azula's like servants or whatever. What are my thoughts on Korra? Like I know I forgot to mention this. Like I still haven't gotten around the time to doing like my video essay on the show. Like especially like how like I rewatched the whole show for like I would say like if I had to say like I would say it's good. Like it's a really good show, but I wouldn't say yeah, it's a little inferior to Avatar, but you can't expect it to be like the same like show, especially like Korra didn't have the same head writer Aaron, I forgot his last name, but this head writer Aaron, he was like, it's like it was his idea to make Toph a girl. His idea, not the original creators Mike and Brian. It was his idea. So he basically had all the best ideas, and that it's like had they had him around, maybe Korra would have been better. It's like almost every season of Korra was almost a repetitive of each season. It's like similar arcs, similar things, but there were like some really things I like. Like I think Korra was a good and protagonist, and I feel like her real. Wait, Toph's a girl. I just realized. You didn't know that? How you met Austin St. John? Yes, at this point, I could say Austin St. John is a really good friend of mine. Like, I actually saw him in person, like back in towards the end of October, and yeah, he did remember me from my encounterment, our last encounterment in Orlando last year. Yeah, he like hands down. He said, "Oh, hey, Steven, how you doing?" And he said my catchphrase, "It's recording time." Thank you, Austin. Here's the thing. Like, I would say last year is when I kind of stalked Austin the most. Like, sure, it started at Stockton Con. A few weeks later, Silicon Valley Comic Con, and yeah, Austin did remember me from that little encounterment. And then, like, when it came to Orlando, like, all the way going from the East Coast to Orlando, yeah, like, I did see Austin at his table, and he kind of gave me this look. It's like, hey, like, I wasn't like expecting him to like remember me, but he definitely did. Like, if you guys have seen that photo of me, like me at the bottom, and like behind me is Austin, John Tui, and Christopher Camely. Like that photo, like I was gonna say, I say, hey, let me get a selfie with you three, because hey, I took a photo of those three with Chris's phones, and then Chris, like, he was a little skeptical, like, why should I be in a photo with him? And it's like, apparently Chris did not remember me from the interview I did with him, like, no clue of who I was. And then Austin told me, hey, this guy, he's been everywhere. It's all like, I mean, Chris was actually wearing a shirt of Chris Katana, and it's like, gee, so Chris knows him, and it's like, can't even know me? Like, sure, I don't have a million subscribers, but one of these days, I may do. But yeah, like Austin, I could say now he's like a friend of mine. All right, hold on, questions that I miss. Uh, all right, let's see. Just came across this channel. Nice content. Thank you. Do you have a favorite Yu-Gi-Oh spin-off? I would say the only like Yu-Gi-Oh spin-off I really seen is just Yu-Gi-Oh GX. Like I actually really digged it. It's like I actually found out a couple years ago that they had like another season that was just never English dub, and it's like how they it's like more darker, and it's like it would have been actually interesting to have seen that actually get made. That way the show actually had good conclusion. But yeah, I did like GX a lot. My thoughts on Dacre Montgomery on Stranger Things. Oh yeah, Dacre, he like rocked the house. He was really good in that role, and it's like it's good to know that like had like the Power Rangers sequel happen. I feel like now that people know more who Dacre is, it's like it would have drawn like a more bigger crowd. It's like it's kind of like a shame that we won't get that. But yeah, I thought Dacre was good, and especially how he was a dick in season 2. And I did like that fight scene between him and Steve, and especially Dustin saying "kick his ass." It's like that was really fun to watch, and it's a shame that Billy unfortunately met his end at the end of season 3, and he had a redemption arc, which is always important to have for certain characters that are huge assholes. When was the Vic Mignogna interview recorded? That was like towards the end of August. Hey Steven, that's good mic quality. What am I using? I am using a Blue Yeti. Like because I can't like show you this, but my Blue Yeti is actually connected to my iPhone. Like in order for you guys to do that, you actually have to get a separate adapter for it, because you know how like an iPhone like it has that weird like lightning 3 thing. So like the adapter, it's like connected to my phone, and it's actually connected to the I could show you on the camera. Come on. So it's basically like connected, but yeah, the Blue Yeti, that's like if you want to be a podcaster or for streaming, a Blue Yeti is really highly recommended. Like, sure, it's 120, but it's really highly recommended. Like, don't get like a snowball or anything like that. But you also got to know how to like use it. Like, make sure like your audio is good and all that, and that way it doesn't come off as crappy or whatever. Hold on, let me see some questions. Have you ever played or seen a game called Gurandurlotha? Okay, for the interviews this month, like yeah, I just announced John DiMaggio. I do have other people, which, but I, well, I will have to tell you guys this. Yes, Peter Collin. I was gonna get Peter Collin this month, but unfortunately, I have to pass on it. It's kind of a not say a budget issue. It's just like a scheduling thing. So yeah, Peter Collin. Like I have to pass on him this month. I am sorry. Don't worry, I'll get Peter again, but it's like if I did get Peter, it would have been like a really short one. And it's like I want to have a nice, full, long, extensive one with him. Yeah, Peter Collin, Optimus Prime. Have you ever played Street Fighter? Yes. But when it comes to like say Street Fighter, I would say the classic arcade one, not like really like a console one. Autobots transform and roll out. Mortal Kombat? Yes, I have. Like Mortal Kombat is actually one of my favorites, but I would say when it comes to those games, I've really only played like on the Nintendo 64. Like I've never played it on any other thing. Like no mobile game, no arcade game. Like and yes, and when I hear like news about the game, like how it's played now, like how they throw in characters like the Terminator or the Ninja Turtles, I think, or the crossover with like DC. It's like it sounds really interesting. It's like I've always been meaning like to get into it. And if you're wondering what I think of the movie, it's like guilty pleasure. I would say like the first Mortal Kombat movie is kind of like legit, but it's like not like it could have been better. Like I mean, I admit like I would say that was like the first like movie where I was disappointed with how popular characters like Scorpion and Sub Zero were treated, and it's like, come on, they deserve justice. It's like how dare you treat them that way? It's like that. I would say that was like the first movie like adaptation of something of a franchise that made me act that way. A lot of people think that Power Ranger toys are meant for the older audience. It's like I would say yeah, especially these days. Like when it comes to like Power Ranger toys, like I would say like who's the Lightning Collection really for? Is it really for the kids, or is it, say, the people that grew up with them? But toys are really for everyone. It's like, it's not just for kids. It is not the kids. Like, if you say get like the more kiddier kind from like you could tell like which is the one that say the adults will collect and which are the ones the kids will play with. And it's like, I feel like for the Lightning Collection, some, I feel like for me, I just keep them in their boxes. I don't play with them or anything like that. Or like, I was thinking of like, as soon as like this room that I'm actually in, like I'm still like making like adjustments to it. Like I feel like I will have like a certain display where I could take like more high res photos of the figures for more like, not say a review, but just like post on Instagram for that kind of thing. That's something that's definitely in the works. Have you ever played Mortal Kombat? Rambles in the new one? Yes. Have you ever watched RoboCop? Not say really. RoboCop is like one of those movies where I just know of, but I don't like really say what's something I watch every now and then. Which game systems I grew up with the most? Like, I would say I grew up with, my first gaming console was the Nintendo 64. And then like it moved on to like me getting my first handheld, which was the Game Boy Advance, then the Game Boy SP. But in between, I like got the PlayStation 2, and then after that, I went on to the Wii, then the Wii U. Like I've never had an Xbox, but I would say like yeah, after the Wii U era, that's when I stopped with the whole playing games, and it's like I never had a PlayStation 4. I've never had the Xbox One or whatever. And like I finally just got my Switch this year and I'm like hoping to like play more, do some more gaming content with it. Like during like November I was trying to get more of the PS5, but it did not work well. It's like it's a really frustrating thing when it comes to like say ordering these kind of things online and how they just they stop. As for the current one, like I said, I have a Switch. I'm trying to get like the PlayStation 5. What's your favorite One Piece movie? Yeah, when it comes to One Piece, I've never really seen it. I've never seen an episode of One Piece. I would say like I know of this, like there's this crossover between One Piece, Trico, and Dragon Ball Z, and I remember Sean Schimmel talking about it, saying that why his Funimation never like English dub it. He said like it's kind of a licensing issue. It's like how when it comes to like getting the license to dub the shows, it's like half is like it's like it's a separate deal. Like they're allowed to, how many episodes they're allowed to dub and how many movies are. Damn, my phone battery is actually at 20%. So, oh yeah, I feel like my battery, my microphone's draining my battery. So I will probably have to wrap up soon. Favorite anime game? I don't think I have one. Are you familiar with the voice actor Tazin Lane Jeffy? I'll look into it, but probably no. Is Goku Black taken? Say Ice Wallakamon. Ice Wallakamon. Well, thank you, get recorders. This has been really entertaining, but I think right now I do have to tune in. Thank you so much for your questions and chatting with me. And I feel like this kind of chatting thing, I like. I just really needed it. Any thoughts of getting a Ben Diskin for an interview? If I could get a hold of him and if he's available, it's like the thing about these interviews, I just can't get anyone just like that, guys. It's like a planning thing, and it's like, of course, I depending on who it is, there are some times where it's just the actor that says yes to it, but times I have to get like their publicist or their agent's approval, and they could just say no, and of course the actor has to approve with has to agree to it. But anyway, yeah, thank you guys for this. This was really fun, and I hope to do this more often with you. And catch you next time.